Well, I did it again. I got an entire 20-minute video done and forgot to talk about 2 items. Addie Bear, what are you doing? Ollie hit you where? What? So the entire McDonald family is heading back to Ontario. It turned into a really nice day here. I hope it's nice wherever you guys are too. The weather's been really strange. I told you it was supposed to be a swamp yesterday. I drove all day in short sleeve summer suit. And now it's supposed to potentially snow on Tuesday.
I know, it's going down to minus 4.
So it's a very odd weather here for sure right now. Now, today I told you guys we had a number of horses trained. I had 6 horses that I had on a list that I wanted to go with. Now, those weren't 6 horses that were bad or 6 horses that need immediate attention. They were just 6 horses that I didn't want to miss a training session, and maybe 6 horses that I wanted to go with. There's a chance of rain tomorrow. Addie Bear, one more time, and the game is Daddy's for the rest of the day. Deal? Okay, deal. So Addie and Ollie are driving me crazy playing games going down the road. Ava's listening to music and she's got her cranky face on. Why, Ava? It's a movie day. Ava was whining because it was movie day at school and she had to get out early to come to Ontario. Amy was a little chilly and put her giant turtleneck on, so that's great. It's your good driving down the road turtleneck, is it?
Yes.
Why don't you try wearing a coat?
I'm making fun of everybody.
It's my job. Why don't you try wearing a coat?
No, Dad, that's
What?
Bowies do.
That's what. Is that what Bowies do?
Are you a Bowie?
I don't know. I don't know what a Bowie is. Is that like David Bowie?
Yeah.
David
Yeah,
Bowie?
you be like Bowie.
So we're heading back to Ontario. We're back tonight. We're back tomorrow. Now, I didn't care about movie day that much. All I really cared about was the Italian restaurant that's waiting for us in Guelph. And I care a little bit about this Lexus that just fed its wheel to me, right out underneath me. It's all right, you know, you go ahead. Not even a fake wave. Did you see that? Not even a fake wave. Just right out underneath me. So the Italian restaurant I like called Scatterbush. Used to be a restaurant just on Stone. If you guys know anything about Guelph, we have a number of people that live around Ontario that are or have came to Ontario for the open houses. Stone Road is where the University of Guelph is, right in that area, and then the mall is there. There used to be a nice little restaurant named Finn McCool's in the corner. I liked it. It closed. Why are you making that face? This is your no one cares face.
Yes, that is 100%.
Some people do care. Some people that are in Guelph and are saying, I would like to eat somewhere. I can tell you right now. Bueno Gusto is one of my favorite places to eat. What's the place, Earth the Bar? It used to be called Earth the Bar. What's it called? Bardo?
From the table.
Bardo is good now also. But this place, Scatterbush, is very good also. And gonna go back. The plan for today.
We gotta make it to baseball practice first.
Drive all the way back to baseball practice. Finish baseball practice and then go to Scatterbush for the evening, have a nice little meal, and then home for the evening. That is the plan. That is the plan for tonight. Now, what took place today, other than the horses training? Before that, I forgot to update anybody on the qualifiers yesterday. We had a great day at the track. We had 4 starters, 3 winners, and a second place finish. And every horse raced great. Chicago Hall jogged. Rose Run AJ raced good. In fact, he jogged, and he raced good.
Yeah, he did race good.
He raced very good. Melisandre was a winner again and looked very good doing so. And 3 Point Blue Chip raced fantastic. Did you watch the race?
I did. I was like, oh, we're going on the front.
Well, that's the problem when you're 8 to 5, right? Nobody really wants to challenge you. And I may have painted myself into that corner too. Nobody's gonna challenge.
And you probably got him all wound up at the gate.
No, you don't have to. He likes leaving. He's like, I don't really want to be on the front though. I love to leave. I like to pass everybody at the start, but I don't want to be on the front.
Yeah.
But once in a while he'll race good on the front. He did race good yesterday. He's getting better every single week, and I was happy with his mile yesterday. Before that, we had 2 qualifiers. I had a number of people message me about Momento Mory. Well, first we'll get Mountaineer Prince out of the way. He qualified and he went 2-4. Just a hair short of throwing a celebration, a party.
Justin said he was fine.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. So,
And he said he doesn't need to go any faster than that to be useful.
well, he can go to Michigan. And
I don't.
drive
That,
it.
well,
that was the
that was
plan.
my next.
I don't even have to drive him in Ludington. I just want to go there for the weekend in the summer. I don't even have to drive him. I don't even care. I'll
What was
go.
that?
I'll be a bystander. I don't care. So, Mountaineer Prince was good. 2-4, 4 even quarters for the most part. But really, that's all he was ready for. It's hard to believe, but since we crowd those little splints, and Mike didn't believe they were bothering him. Since we crowd those little splints, he has not made a break. So, I guess food for thought. I mean, it has to. It's too much of a coincidence not to be a likelihood. And Mountaineer Prince, I don't care if it was a full moon or what it was. The horse qualified good, has a flat line. I'm happy. Everybody should be happy. Now, the big story of the day was Momento Mory. And a lot of people ask me, what was wrong with Mory? There's nothing wrong with Mory. Mory doesn't have to be ready for another week or so. We got him ready, trained him down. I trained him in 2-2. We schooled him in whatever they schooled him in, and he qualified in 59. I guess first and foremost, I told Justin just to go easy with him. The first day we schooled him, he showed a spot of blood. This horse had raced in Lexington with no Lasix. So he showed a spot of blood. And did again yesterday, but he's not going to Kentucky, and I don't really care. If we put him on Lasix, that's fine. It would be hard for me to believe. Now, maybe from training hard and whatnot, the spring and the weather, maybe that was the reason he bled a little bit, but I don't really care. He's still got to race in the heat all summer around New York. If he needs to be on Lasix, I have no problem putting the horse on Lasix. We told Justin just to go easy with the horse. The horse that won the race, Brian Burroughs, that horse raced against Pickpocket, is a 2- and 3-year-old in Kentucky. That's the horse that Aki's Fonstead had, Brian Burroughs. He was a nice horse. And Justin just cruised up the inside and went a nice easy mile with him. And people are acting like, well, what's wrong with Mory? I need to set the record straight. Mory was about the 22nd best colt in North America last year. He set the world record and was a very nice colt, but did it at 6 or 7 to 1 that day from the 2-hole. And again, don't take this wrong because I love the horse. A non-factor in the Breeders' Crown final, right? He was present, he raced there, and he deserved to be there, that's fine. But the idea that he should come out and just obliterate everybody in his first qualifier, there's no need to do that. His first stake race will be the Bunker Hill in Massachusetts, and then he'll begin his New York Sires stake races for 2025. What I'd like to see is him get strong enough and end up being a candidate for the Yonkers Trot. To do that, he has to get around a half good. Now, Amy said yesterday he looked a little rough. He looked a little rough at the gate, but Justin doesn't know him either, right? Justin wants to go easy with the horse, but Mory likes to get up on the gate and get out of there. He doesn't have the hobbles on right now. And somebody else said, well, just put the hobbles on and qualify them. Guys, you really need to just take a deep breath. It is April 4th, 2025. His stake races last from May all the way through to October, right? That's when they last. So we don't have to have him revved up and all his jets firing on April the 4th. Qualified him easy. Now I'll either school him and race him, or we'll race him at Northfield, or we'll race him at the Meadows. There's no rush. We just want to make sure that when Mory starts, he's comfortable and confident when he goes behind the gate. That's what I want to see. And this is a year where he doesn't have hobbles. And make no mistake, somebody said to me a couple of months ago, they said, problem with horses that interfere, they never really end up going fast. Well, you can't interfere much more than Mory did all last year. And he is the fastest 2-year-old gelding of all time. He hits his jack, which Amy can attest to, he still does. He'll touch a knee, he'll touch a shin once in a while. He will get out of gear, but he trots the turns very good. It's in the straightaways where he gets into that right jack.
It's not even the whole time in the straightaways. It's switching leads.
It's exactly what it does. It's exactly what it is. So again, we're looking to get him away from that if we can. And until we kind of get him away from that, you're going to see his stress level stay in a level we don't want to see. And that stress is a component of potentially the bleeding also. So it's not that he's a bleeder, so to speak, but there was a couple of spots of blood. I don't even know if you categorize it a 1 out of 5.
No, he said less than.
Yeah. So it's present, but not a concern at this very moment. One that we can treat quite easily. Why is he bleeding? Why is he interfering? Well, I can tell you why he's interfering, because he's built to interfere. Can we get him away from it? I believe so, yes.
It was easier, at the right mile when he
Well, sure.
Didn't have to wear shoes.
Yeah. Well, he raced barefoot once, and Scott said he wasn't really better barefoot.
Oh no.
No,
I just assumed he was.
I thought he was too, and Scott, he said it to me because once in a while he'll watch the videos with Megan, and he said, just so you know, Momento Mory was no better that day with the shoes on.
I didn't know that.
And neither did I until he told. I remember him vaguely. I remember him telling me that, but it was more of a just in a passing comment, and it never really stuck to me until he said, by the way, I don't think he was any bit better barefoot that day than he was with the
Still
shoes
hit
on.
himself.
Oh yeah, still mauled himself. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to put those other boots on. Those ones that
No. With the strap on the Hawk?
Huh.
No, I'm not putting them big, giant, clunky boots on. Honey, it's not the end of the world. He's touching
He
his
thinks
jack.
it's the end of the world.
No, he doesn't. If he thought it was the end of the world, he'd get out of gear 10 times worse. The one thing Justin said was the last, more than a quarter, less than 3/8, I put him in gear and had a straight shot where he run him up the inside.
Yeah.
He said he never put one step in the last 3/8 of the mile. Not a step. Not at all.
Yeah, because that's after he's shifted back and he now. That's how he's doing.
How did he come out of the last turn? We don't count that
I
as
couldn't see it very well.
Well, I'm just paraphrasing what the driver said.
No, I'm
He
not
said the
saying-
horse
oh.
never put a step in and was bomb-proof the last almost 3/8 of the
Faster
mile.
you said he was.
Yes, because it's switching gears is when he's going to do it, right?
I thought he was going to run before the qualifier even started.
And that's the other thing. And I told him, I said, I don't want him up on top of the gate. I don't want him up on top of the gate. I want him to... I just want him to float into the gate. Just time the gate out. And I think he did put a couple of steps in, and he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
And Justin was smart enough to say, it's not really the end of the world. Boo-hoo, I missed the gate by a couple of lengths. Who cares? So, a smart drive by him. I was happy with Mory. And I'm not trying to berate him and say, oh, well, you're expecting too much. I expect him to be a sire stake caliber horse in New York.
Yes.
But he doesn't have to be one now. He has to be one in a month.
I actually was surprised. I thought you were going to school him again and then qualify.
I was going to, but I couldn't stay there yesterday. I had to go over to drive Melisandre.
I know that's what I meant.
Yeah. So I don't think there's a big rush or big hurry with Mory. We have him going good. We have him going the way we want now. We'll probably train him up really good next week and put him in to go. Where is the question? Where do we put him in to go? We could go to Miami Valley. We could go to the Meadows. We could stay at Northfield. Stay right at home. Low stress there. Addie, shh. Low stress there for sure. What do you need, honey? What's wrong? You're welcome to go to the Meadows with me anytime you want, but we're not going there today, are we? So, that's the plan with Momento Mory. Mountaineer Prince, he's going in the maiden or maiden claimer or something, where we can get him in where slower miles are acceptable. So that's what took place yesterday. Now today was different. Busy day today. I was up early too. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
No, because I was gone.
No, you weren't gone before I
It
got
was
up.
silent when I left.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, you're making that up. I was up at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I was gone at quarter.
I think I heard your car start.
You might have heard the garage door open.
I can't remember. I was up early. Everybody was up early, actually. Ollie, Ava, Addie Bear. You were up. You slept in. You were in my bed again. What are you doing in my bed?
No.
Why are you in my bed, you turkey?
No. Yeah, I know.
So everybody get up early. I got to the school on time. I made the video for you guys. Told you I was training horses, and I was happy with what I saw this morning. You guys will know the other video. I told the great story of Bob the Bomber. I can tell it again.
No, please don't.
No, I will.
No.
So a couple of people asked me, said, well, "Who's a Bob the Bomber and what's he doing in the barn?" So
Why,
you guys know.
entry's up? Is that why people
He's
are
in
asking?
Tuesday, yeah. So a number of people were we're just trying to clean out some of the brush for the stable, right? And Fire and Shine just isn't going to be a competitive horse in our barn. You guys know that. I'm on Century Legion. He's on his way out too. These horses just aren't going to be good enough. And at some point, you just have to pull the plug. And somebody else can tinker with them and play with them. Well, Nick Clegg, he always buys mediocre horses. And I'd said this in the video, if we never started the stable, that's probably the exact same thing we'd be in, right? It's low risk. He's in there buying mediocre horses. If they turn out great, if they don't, oh well, who cares? And ended up with Duncan and the other good horse.
Literally what we used to do.
It's literally what we used to do, yeah. Really nice guy, him and his wife Betty. So Betty has, she came into the driver's room, and I was talking to Nick, and she goes, "No more horses," she said to Nick. I said, "What do you mean, Betty?" She said, "No more horses. I don't want any more horses." And I said, "Well, what if I take a horse from you, and then you have an empty stall, and you can buy Fire and Shine from us?" She goes, "No." And Nick goes, "Actually, Bob the Bomber. He's making breaks at the gate. I don't know why. He's made them on everyone. I've made them on everyone. Or he's made them on everyone. Why don't you take Bob the Bomber?"
What is he?
He actually was a nice 2-year-old. He beat Gypsy Hill and Irresistible Summit too. He was a decent
No, I'm
horse.
asking you what he is.
Oh, like sire? I assume he's a long time. I don't know.
And how old is he?
Probably 4. Well, he raced against Irresistible Summit, so he's 4, right? Yeah, so he'd be a 4-year-old. He said, "No problem." So I trained him this morning. He trained very, very well. He did make a little break coming out of the turn, but his problem's been at the gate, not in the mile. And the break was not Bob the Bomber's fault. It was Anthony McDonald's fault. I tipped him over. I just wanted to know what he could and could not do. Now I know. Now I have a pretty good idea where Bob's coming from. So Bob and I are going to race on Tuesday, and we sold Fire and Shine to Nick, so it worked out good for everybody except for
Have you
Betty
heard
Clyde.
any comments?
I didn't ask, and I don't want to ask
Okay.
about Fire and Shine. I've completely
She's not that fun to
severed
job.
the relationship. No, she's not that fun to job. So, training today. Now, the horses training today were not horses I was mad at or I was angry at. They were horses that I wanted to get a look at, or horses that I thought couldn't afford to miss a training mile. It looks like rain is coming tomorrow, so I wanted to go with them. They couldn't miss a training mile. Today was a good day to go with them. So I went with 6 of them, and I started today with, who did I start with today, Miss McDonald?
We've already talked about this.
I know, who was it?
You started your day with ACDC.
AC/DC, trained him at 221. Now AC/DC, I can feel him.
Are you literally going to talk again?
Why shouldn't I? Do you think I'm going to post the other video?
Oh, you're not?
No, the other video's
Oh, I
garbage.
thought you were gonna
I have
post-
trashed it. It's gone.
Oh, I didn't know
Of course. I need to make a proper video for our
that.
clients.
Sorry.
So AC/DC, going into the turns, running in a bit, and coming back to me as we knew into the turns. And that to me, and coming out of the turns, switching his leads again, that to me just, it looks to me that his knees bother him just a little bit, but they bother a lot of 2-year-olds this time of year. What you need to do is look on a training by training basis, right? Every training set is a little bit different, right? And I want to see progression from him. So I went with him today. I know what he looks like. I'll try to go with him next week also. I'm not concerned about if his knees are bothering him. We'll put a little blister on him and back off with him. Today's training mile was good. We can back him up to like 227, 228 next week. And then I'll take a look at both training sets and say, okay, how did he feel on Friday before he went to Ontario as opposed to next week? I expect and hope that we're going to see progression from AC/DC. Now, you and I, we've had a couple of Stay Hungries, and Stay Special had horrible knees.
So did
Horrible
that other
knees.
thing that was horrible.
What was that?
I think the key balls.
Oh, the filly, yeah. But we're not judging her. She was a terrible animal. So, I'm not going to say that is indicative of the breed, but we have had a couple of Stay Hungries that did have knees that bothered them. So it is something we're watching, and I am watching it with with AC/DC, but I'm not overly concerned about it right now. So he trained good today. His mile was great. It was flawless. He didn't make any mistakes, didn't make any breaks. And my only negative takeaway was going into the turns and coming out of the turns, he was letting off the accelerator a bit. Now that might just be because he's learning how to go fast through the turns, or it may just be that his knees are bothering him a bit. We laid a little bit of a blister on his knees, hocks and stifles today, and I'll be interested to see how he looks next week. Second horse was...
Capistrano.
Ooh, good call. Capistrano Nights. I think she's just fat. I think Capistrano Nights just a little bit overweight. What are you doing?
What?
What are you doing?
I'm doing anything.
I'm watching you in the video. Are you signing?
Yes. Oh, yeah, she's learning.
Oh, she's learning sign language? No. Why, is there a good-looking deaf boy in your class?
Just want to learn.
So So Capistrano Nights did her work well today. What did I say? 222. I think I wanted 223, something like that. She did her work well. There was no indication she was going to make a break at any point. I'll tell you what she did. She felt a little flat today, to be honest. She didn't feel like wiry like she felt before when I went with her. Like she could go 8 seconds faster like that, but make a break. No, she didn't feel that way to me today. She felt a little bit lethargic, but did do her work very well, and by far the fastest mile of her life. So maybe that was more of the issue to begin with than anything else. But she did her work well. The whole point of today was to go a little bit quicker with them, stretch them out, see how they behaved in the mile, see how they behaved after the mile, did they eat their lunch, and then next week when we back them up a little bit, see if they're much stronger for it. And that was the plan for today. So ACDC was good. Capistrano Nights was good. I went out with Degas. Degas was the only one of the 6 that made a break. She did it in the last turn. I think we just got to get the flip-flops off of her. And you can tell, like when I went with Degas last time for 2 or 3, for a good 2 or 3 or 4 training trips in a row, you have to blast her through the turn and make her work through the turns. And if you go a couple of training trips, even 2, 3, 4 training trips, where you're just trying to hold her together, you can feel that uncertainty in them when you train them. I didn't see any soreness or lameness from Degas today, but she did make that break in the last turn for no particular reason. So whatever. I think just the flip-flops off and work with her equipment, and I think she'll be fine. Now the one thing was, when we pulled up, I wanted to see, does she look gassed? Because I told you guys a couple of times training in the winter, it just looked like she was working harder than the other horses. She'd come off the track blowing her head off. And she really shouldn't have been. So I was really looking for that. I pulled her up, and even though she worked very hard and I went a mile in 226 with the break today. So she was well on her way to going a mile in probably 221 or 222 before she made that break. And when I pulled up, she seemed fine. She gathered her wind quickly. She seemed fine coming off the track. She wasn't blowing when she came in and seemed fine afterwards. So she is getting into shape better now, and I was happy. Aside from the break, overall I was happy with her work today. The 4th horse to go out was
After Degas was
in New York. Now he did make a break start, but that was my fault. You know, we took the hobbles off this horse. I think he went as far as he was going to go with a tight hobble on. Took the hobbles off him, which isn't always the best route to go. But I'll tell you what, he trained great the other day, and I was eager to see how he trained today. And after he made that break at the start, through the entire rest of the mile, he felt very, very strong. I was really happy with the way he did it. He went a mile in 222, 223. They all went around that same thing. But finished up his mile strong, and in fact, he actually went better than everybody else, because after he made that little break, he reset, and I was up to the quarter in 39 seconds and still went a mile in 222 with him. So a good mile from him, and he just feels like he's getting stronger. He was happier pulling up. He wasn't exhausted. He wasn't tired. He wasn't lethargic in any way, and he seemed fine afterwards. So I was really happy with what I saw from him. One of the better horses I think we have, and I think you're going to see this over the next month, as he starts to truly catch up work-wise to everybody, is Leland Hanover. This is a very, very, very nice colt. I like everything about Leland Hanover, and he's got a really, really slick gait. I can't wait to see what he is going to turn into this summer. But I'll tell you what, he turned into a nice horse this morning. I went a mile in 220 right on with him. Last half an 8, and he was very strong finishing up his mile. I think he has all the tools. You look at his breeding, his gait, his intelligence, his work ethic. Everything is on point, and I think he's going to be a really nice horse for us. The fastest horse of the entire day was a trotter, and it was Neuromancer. I went a mile in 219, 218 with him. What had happened was there was another small set of people from another barn that said they were going in 25, and I knew I wanted to go a little more in 25, and I didn't want to screw up their set. So I just said, nah, you guys go ahead. Now, going out the door at the same time I was Perfection Hanover with Tyler. I said, hey, just follow me with that colt. I want to stretch him out, because what I'd like to see, especially from Perfection Hanover, next week when we go in 225, 226, which is actually 6 seconds, almost 7 seconds slower than he went today, I want to see him look like it was a walk in the park. That's what I want to see from Perfection Hanover next week. Now, Perfection Hanover. Today, we ended up starting way behind that other set. It wasn't planned that way. It just worked out that way. We caught up to them getting into the last turn. I moved Neuromancer to the outside, and he advanced quickly and ended up right there. There was 4 of us across the track. Perfection was right on my helmet. I was in the middle. Justin, James Day was there, and somebody else was there too. There was 4 of them anyway, and then us 2. We all finished in a group going under the wire. I was thoroughly pleased with Neuromancer. I don't think I've ever seen that horse tired.
He doesn't hurt. No.
I've never seen him tired, because that was a big mile. Like, we caught up to them. Like, we were going a faster mile, caught up to their slower mile, and kind of just stopped. And then as they started to pick it up, now I moved Neuromancer again. So he's going a big mile, slowed right down, and then started back up to go a fast last quarter again. It was a big, big mile from him. I was thoroughly pleased. I don't want the bell boots on him anymore, but I don't want to see him ever hit himself. He looked good today training. Very, very good training.
So
Really
you take the hoppers off in. So why do you keep taking them on and
Well, he needs them. He needed them the last 2 weeks because his foot was bothering him. He needed a little help. But with him, he's one of those rare horses where sometimes he feels like he needs them,
off? Yeah.
but sometimes he doesn't.
He doesn't hit anywhere behind.
Yes, he does. He hits exactly where Mory does. You just haven't seen it yet.
If he doesn't, there's no lumps, cuts, nothing.
Well, you got to remember, when Mory got into it last year, he hit it every time. So by the time he started trotting in 56 and Oak Grove and 55, 53, yeah, bang, 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 all of a sudden there's some calcium in there and it's there forever. Where Neuromancer is not there yet. And he doesn't hit it the same way. Neuromancer comes straight back. It's odd, they're brothers. Comes straight back and just brushes up high. You can see him do it. Because
they're both off on the right foot.
A little bit out, yeah. And their very next stride is into the opposing knee. The next one. No, he hits his left knee.
That's where he has
Yeah,
that scrape.
that's a long time ago. That's ancient history. He'll touch that right jack and then left knee, and that's what he'll touch. Now he's narrow, so he'll get up close to that right knee also. But he didn't hit it today. He touched it twice that I saw.
No, when you were training him without the knee boots, because you said you didn't like him with the bond.
I hate him with them on,
So
but
we
he
put
does
his
brush
hip
them.
on.
Yeah, he does brush
It was
them.
the right one that was more marked.
Different horse now. He's getting stronger. The horses, you'll see a lot of the horses change completely from March 15th to May 1st. You'll see a massive change as you start feeding them speed and they start putting some actual literal muscle on. You'll see them change, a lot of them completely. And Neuromancer will be one of those horses that he'll be virtually unrecognizable through the eyes of March to the eyes of almost June the 1st, end of May. He'll be a totally different horse. And some of the horses will be the same straight through. I shouldn't say that. They'll just get faster and bigger and look better, where some of them will change completely. And Neuromancer is one of the horses. He's the latter. You'll see him change quite a bit over the next 6-8 weeks. So he was very good today. Perfection followed and did his work very well. I was happy with all 6 that I went with. I was happy with Bob the Bomber, and even Hanger jogging. He's annoying and a little frustrating, but he still went out and did his work well. So a good morning. We just watched Westland Warrior race. He finished 3rd, just beat for 2nd in 57-2. He frustrates me, that horse. He's good enough where he's here until he saturates the classes he's in. He's an okay horse. I just know he could be such a better horse. He reminds me of a little bit, and it's frustrating because he's a little more talented than he was, is Lonely Lakewood. Lonely Lakewood was a likable horse, but he went out and he felt like he was doing his best work, whereas Westland Warrior will go out, and you can tell. If you're driving him, he's not putting in full effort. He's just out there doing his work. He's the guy just watching the clock so he can punch out and leave. That's Westland Warrior. And it's frustrating, but you know what? He's a useful horse in that regard. You just have to know coming in, you're not going to get his best effort and drive him accordingly. Aaron drove him smart today. I told him, I sent him a text message. I said, hey, Westland Warrior is okay, but he's a bit of a coward. So just drive him accordingly. He got away in the 2-hole and got picked off for 2nd at the wire. It is what it is. We get 2 more tonight. We got Manhattan Money and Country Dancing. Manhattan Money's 5-1 with James. Country Dancing drew the outside. James jumped off. Tyler Borth drives her tonight. I just like to see just a flat, nice mile from Country Dancing. I don't even care if she gets a check. I just want to see her pace well, do well, and put up a decent line on her card, and that's what I want to see from country dancing tonight. Now, tomorrow, it's going to be fun tomorrow. I'm looking forward to Gorgeous Package. That's my biggest. It's not my
I
biggest.
don't think you're going to be looking forward to it after the weather.
I don't think tomorrow's going to be horrible at Northfield. No, all afternoon it's supposed to rain, but after that it's not supposed to be horrible.
It's starting at like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, but honey, she races at 9 o'clock at night. It's not supposed to be bad then. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to her, and then we have Looks Like Money racing later on Sunday at Northfield. We'll make his first start ever on a half-mile track. I don't want to make a habit of it, but he'll race there tomorrow. Jason swears to get around a half.
Did you not hear me say that?
I've never trained him on a half-mile track,
I said,
and I would be shocked. But Jason looked at me last week and said, this horse will get around this track. So, okay, if you think so, but I don't know if I agree with that statement, but all right, no problem. So we'll see how Looks Like Money does. He is picked to win from post 7. His only nemesis on
did
paper.
he get handicapped?
Yeah, he gets 7 hole, and Ron Burke's horse got the 6 hole, but we did beat him the last 3 times we raced him. So we'll see how that all plays out over the weekend. Lots going on, lots of racing. I hope you guys are having a great start to your weekend. We are. It's a nice day. We're on our way to Ontario. We get all these baseball practice here. You get to watch him work out tonight. Got a little scatterbush tonight.
Yes, practice tomorrow.
And practice tomorrow, and then we head back. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Good luck to all my partners tonight, tomorrow, the next day, all the way through next week. I hope you're having a great Friday. I hope you have a better Saturday. Take care.